The 2023 State of the Media report just came out, and I had to share some highlights with you. Trudy Beerman here of PSI TV. Let's jump in. 3,132 journalists were surveyed to come up with the responses I'm going to share with you today. Now, when it comes to the biggest challenges in journalism for the last 12 months, one of the things I want to point out is the decline in advertising. The decline in advertising. PSI TV has determined to be an ad-free TV channel. The reason for that is we work so hard to get our audience's attention. The last thing that we want is to break their attention with an ad. We do not monetize our channel with ads. Can we do ads? Absolutely. We're often asked to run ads on our channel. We've decided not to. And that was a choice we made. For the other platforms that depend on advertising for their business model, they're just seeing a decline in advertising. I am going to say that the channels that depend on advertising for income may either have to retool or they will disappear. And for the sake of longevity of the PSI TV channel, this decision, we didn't even factor in the decline in advertising. We just determined that that was not the way we were going to model our business. And it turns out it was a wise decision. Another channel that the journalists reported was keeping a good balance between advertisements and editorial copy. Now, we have found our own solution for that over here at Influence Media PSI TV. When we interview our guests, we're basically talking about their business, and the shows are traditionally 15 minutes long, but we're not a 15-minute ad. So what we're doing is creating editorial copy by way of the interview. So when we interview our guests, we get to showcase their offer, their book, their business, in a way that does not come across as an ad. People are so turned off by you're trying to sell them something. Instead, PSI TV is an edutainment channel. So what we're doing is we're creating this experience of learning about something with it being more of a fun, it's an interview. It's so the person that's being interviewed is not telling you how great they are. It will come through in the interview process that this is a great opportunity for you, but it's so subtle in the way it happens that there's no way it comes across like an ad. And that has always been the PSI TV goal. Now, when it came to the priorities of journalistic and media organizations, they had some priorities. One of them that really stood out to me was providing a voice for critical issues impacting our communities. When I interview guests on PSI TV, for me, it is providing a voice. Very often, the guests that I have on have an important solution, an important message, a great, lifestyle upgrade for us, but we may not ever know about it because they have a limited voice or a limited audience reach. So by being a guest on television, we really feel that part of our mission is providing that voice on these amazing, important, life-changing transformations and solutions that you need to know about. Traffic. Now, that is also an issue that matters to PSI TV. Once we determined that we were no longer in the TV business, but we started to see ourselves in the influential reach business, that really changed the vision and operation of our business, because we're not just depending on TV viewership, guys. We are building our presence on other platforms. In fact, as I'm making this presentation to you, I just left a networking meeting where I connect with my peers in other industries just to get the word out about what we do, because I want to ensure that when my guests come to television, to PSI TV, that we are building our audience for them and we're getting the word out so more people watch PSI TV, and we're just building the traffic to PSI TV, our brand, and all our platforms that we utilize. It is also a priority for the PSI TV organization. because we see ourselves in the influential reach business, and because we stack the value to our interviewed guests, one of the things we realize is that a lot of the guests come to us, they don't yet have much of a digital presence online. So they may have the most awesome opportunity in the world, but nobody knows they exist. Even if you Google them, there's like nothing coming up. Now, here's the thing. PSI TV has been an amazing resource simply because we are way more friendly to the startup and to the person who has no digital presence, because a lot of these platforms, if you don't already have a huge social media following of your own, they're not interested in you. If you don't have all these accolades, if you've not been on television before, a lot of these platforms have no interest in you as a guest. So if you have tried to pitch your message to a lot of these media platforms and been rejected, here is why. So from this survey, 27% say that providing multimedia and pitches and press releases is one of the top ways PR and communication pros can make their lives easier. A lot of you have no idea how to successfully pitch the media. That is why we have a media kit challenge. In our media kit challenge, you will walk away with the kind of pitch mechanism, the tool that's going to not only convey who you are, how to contact you, and all your message, but it's going to include multimedia pitches and how to really touch base with the press. Even if you're a guest on PSI TV, we're not your one-stop shop. You really should be going to various other platforms, other podcasts, other press releases, and so forth, guys. If you have that message worth sharing, then you should be sharing it at every possible platform that's available. Over here at PSI TV, we cannot drum hard enough about the digital presence, and we keep talking about influence and reach. Influence and reach are not the same thing. You might be a big fish in a small pond. You have a lot of influence, but your reach is very small. We keep telling you, jump ponds and grow again. What does jump ponds mean? If you're on TV, you want to be on a podcast. If you're on this podcast, be on 10 other podcasts. Be in the press, be in the news, be whatever, be on stages. You want to jump ponds and build new audiences in new locations. But to do so, you have to get approved, accepted, invited to these platforms. And if you don't have the kind of content packaged in such a way that the journalists will be interested in talking to you, you're missing out. Now, like I said, PSI TV is very starter friendly. And so not only are we more willing to take the person who doesn't have all of that, but we help you get it. And when you leave us, you will have in your media portfolio a TV experience. This is one of my favorite charts in this 2023 media summary. It looked at the various platforms, the social media platforms. Guys, Facebook is tanking when it comes to journalistic use, okay? So keep that in mind. Facebook still is relevant, especially if you want to run ads, but when it comes to where the journalists are looking, they're not going to see you on Facebook that much. It's dropped significantly. Number one is LinkedIn. I've had guests come to PSI TV and they don't have a LinkedIn presence. That's one of the first things that I tell them they need to have done, because I'm going to share all the places that we have syndicated your content on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a professional platform and right now it's number one. So when we share your content, our goal is to contribute to your extended audience reach. And when you have that audience reach, when you have that digital presence, you're likely to be found by other people who may start inviting you to stuff. So LinkedIn is important. In fact, we had one client that I can immediately recall, Dr. Al-Faki. In all fairness to him, he was an immigrant into the United States as a professor, but he did not have that social media presence. We told him to create his LinkedIn presence because he needed that with the communication we were doing. And then when we did his show, he went from zero presence on Google to everything on page one, pretty much being the content we created. And the number one spot on Google was his LinkedIn profile, which he had just created. Next is surprisingly Instagram. And I have to admit, PSI TV, I have a profile on Instagram. I'm not working it as I should. and that's pretty strategic, guys. I'm focusing and building my platforms one at a time. So I have 30,000 followers on Facebook. So now that's there. That doesn't mean that's all I want. But since I have kind of like some traction there, my focus is now on YouTube. And I got my channel monetized, and I've, growing in influence, starting to get paid by YouTube. My clients, my interviews are getting more and more views. And so my focus right now is on YouTube. And eventually I will make it to Twitter and Instagram. So the next one there is, look at this. Instagram is even higher than YouTube. Look at that, guys. So this kind of information is the kind of stuff that we look at to help guide where we place our focus. So it looks like I do need to spend a little bit more time on Instagram in 2024. Now, the next part of this summary that was also interesting to me, that I think is interesting to you, is the green flags and red flags for connecting with media. Like I said, we have the Media Kit Challenge. You have to get on the wait list right now. It's not currently being offered, but we do offer it from time to time. And certainly in 2024, we'll offer it again. But looking at the green flags versus the red flags, it says here, you need to keep providing value. You need to keep providing value. This showing up once and thinking that that one book you've written and that one time you had this one experience on YouTube, you guys, you need to be content creators. You need to keep providing value. This is a value offer that I'm putting out here. I'm bringing value to you. This is the community outreach so that you get to know me and you get to see the things that matter to PSI TV and to me. And hopefully this also helps you. I certainly structure these conversations with you in mind. Another thing that I found incredibly exciting is this survey saying that for the journalists, the 3,000 plus journalists that were surveyed, they were asked, what sources do you consider most useful for generating content ideas? Number one is the press release. When I interview a guest on PSI TV, the package option includes that we use the content we just got from you when we interviewed you and create a press release with distribution. Guys, that press release is going to stay out there in internet land. And some of these journalists may be just so appreciative that this press release is out there to give them an idea and who to contact. So you may want to consider taking the package that includes a press release, because press release is number one on the list for other journalists. Guys, you don't want to just do PSI TV. You want to appear in other places. The PSI TV might be your startup, might be a great exposure for you, but your message can't just be relying on what PSI TV can do for you. You're hoping to get invited, accepted, applying, and accepted, on other stages as well. Press releases for journalists is number one. Now, this one I like. This was kind of says, how many pitches do you get a week, including emails, phone calls, social media messages, etc.? 50% of them are getting 50 plus pitches a week. I'm getting a similar number, guys. So when a guest gets filtered through all of that, because not everybody is going to be a good fit for PSI TV, even if you have a great message and all that. We know our audience, and our audience has come to understand a certain type of content coming out from us. And so we can't accept everybody, but we do get those pitches. And that is another reason why you want to consider taking our Media Kit Challenge, because not only is your Media Kit going to be more journalistic friendly, but also it's going to include those things that we look for and the things that and avoid the things we don't like. So it's not just going to be pitchy and spammy, and we're going to help you understand that you need to really tailor your message to the platform. I can't tell you how many of those random pitches that come that are just the same copy paste to every single platform. That's not going to work. You need to look at the show that you're applying to, and if they're a comedy, find the funny thing or fun facts or whatever. If they're business minded, if they're speaking to students, you really need to tailor your pitch, because just sending these copy paste same pitch to every single person, you're going to miss out. Even though you might have been a great fit for that outlet, simply because you failed to tailor your message for that medium. I hope this peek into the world of media was helpful to you. Cision puts out this annual report every year. I did one on their 2022 report and share those highlights with you. This was a report intended for journalists like myself, but I thought that there were lots of pieces in there that you might find useful, and I hope you did. If you did, comment below and tell me what piece of this did you find insightful, where you're watching from. I always want to know where people are watching from. Like I keep telling you, you can be a big fish in a small pond, but when you jump ponds and grow again, that is when we expand our audience reach. So I'm always curious as to who is listening from what part of the world. Where is the reach of this channel getting? And just let me know. I truly love to know. And I do reply to comments. I do reply. The comment below and say hello. Comment below and say hello. Trudy Beerman here, super simple to find, and I do look forward to connecting with you.